You know you're a crafter when? Just with these simple, basically free supplies, I made some present toppers, some ornaments, and some napkin holders that you are going to love. So how complicated are we getting today? Well, if you can cut your toilet paper rolls into a thicker piece and a thinner piece, you're pretty much there. So I think we're going to be fine. First things first, what you're going to do, you're going to take your toilet roll and you're just going to squash it flat. I'm going to cut it approximately in half and then into thirds. So I'll end up with 6 pieces altogether. And then these pieces I'm cutting to about half of the size of the larger pieces, as these ones are going to fit inside the larger pieces. So we've got 6 big and 6 small, and we're going to make a pretty snowflake. This is the basis of all of your snowflakes to come. So once you have this design, you can make it as ornate or as simple as you like. The important thing is to have the outer edge of the rings meeting as closely together in the middle. This will give it a really nice balanced shape. If, however, they're not perfectly lined up, you could add a circle to cover the center so you can't tell that they're not completely lined up, or something like a sparkly gem. And even if they're not perfectly lined up, you can certainly add those decorative embellishments anyway, because it just adds all a little bit of extra festive sparkle. Once you have your base shape, you are pretty much free to play around with the shapes that you're going to add, either to the outside or the inside. But this is the one you want to start with, and then you are free to play. And of course, this is a pretty design by itself, so you really could stop here and have some extra decorations for your tree. Next, we're going to take our smaller pieces and we're going to simply fold them in half. It always amazes me just how pretty this looks, and it is such a simple craft. So for this first snowflake, I'm adding just one of the thin rings folded in half into each petal. For this design, I am double stacking those thin folded rings so that adds even more dimension to each petal. And in fact, instead of doing every petal, in this case, I'm doing alternate petals to add some variation to the designs. I wanted to show you here what it looks like when you have a spray painted outside but not a spray painted or painted inside. You get that two-tone look with that natural colour of the toilet paper roll on the inside. In some cases that actually looks quite cool. So the big question, do you paint your toilet paper rolls at the start or at the end? Spoiler alert, it's a little bit of both. Something like this is going to be tricky to paint afterwards, especially with spray paint, because of the angle of the spray, it won't get into the details. If you spray paint just a plain roll at the start, then you don't have those problems because it's already painted. But the inside is not painted, and that is also tricky to do with spray paint. So you can use a normal brush to paint the inside. Basically, it's a little bit of before, it's a little bit of after. It might be spray paint, it might be normal paint, but you will get there and it will look beautiful. So we've got toilet paper roll strips on the outside, we've got single ones on the inside of each petal, double ones on alternate petals on the inside. You can see just how many ways you can create different looking snowflakes in different colours, and so simply add quite a lot of variation to your tree. To glitter or not to glitter? That is the question, and most of the time my answer would be to glitter. However, these look beautiful with or without the extra sparkle. I'm using PVA or white glue to attach the glitter here. If I had some, I would have used spray adhesive, as it is slightly less messy, but you can't get into some toilet paper crafts without getting a little bit messy. And here's a little pearl that I found on some Christmas ribbon, which is just perfect to set off the middle of the snowflake. And if you attach them together, you could make a garland or a window display, and that would be really beautiful too. Present toppers are so lovely because it gives that extra thoughtful element to your gift. I'm going to show you how to make a holly and a star design, but you could be completely creative. You could do the letter of the person who you're gifting it to. It's completely up to you and a lot of fun and extra special for a gift that you're giving. For this holly present topper, I am starting with a green painted paper roll. Now I don't have green spray paint, so this was hand painted. And for this one, I'm simply cutting about 12 of the thin rings. And this is going to build up the holly branches. Then again, we're simply folding the strips in half. Now to make our holly branches, we are going to be stacking them up to make the sprig of holly. You don't want to add the glue to the point because they won't completely connect with each other, so you're attaching the glue to the edges in the middle. And did I paint an entire toilet paper roll in red just so I could get some berries? Yes, I did, but you never know when you're going to need these things again. But of course, if you have some red card to hand, you can just as easily use that as well. Simply add a line of glue to where you want your holly to be on your present. If you attach these first, then you can add the berries where they join. Next, I made a very simple star, and I chose a star because I thought it would complement this beautiful blue and gold paper. I stacked just 2 of the folded pieces together and put a set on each side. So there were 8 pieces in total, and together they make just a little festive star. So simple and really lovely. And wouldn't you love to receive a present that looked like this? It's just extra thoughtful and lovely. And the napkin holder might be the simplest of them all. We are going to have 6 gold large rings and 4 thin ones. This is designed to sit on your plate to hold a napkin before you start your meal. It's just an extra pretty decorative element to add to your plate. Firstly, attach 2 of the large rings. Where they meet in the middle, this is going to form the base of the napkin holder. And these 2 are going to remain empty with no thin pieces inside, and that is what the napkin is going to loop through. The next step is to add 2 more, and you're starting to build up into a bit of a decorative tower to make it look a little bit more impressive. Then finally take 4 of your thin folded pieces, and as it'll be no surprise by now, we're adding some embellishments to the top 4 large rings. Whether you use this as a napkin holder or somewhere to put a name tag for your place setting, this is a lovely little way to display something a bit special on your table. And yes, I realise this is not how a napkin holder functions just by sitting on the napkin, but so you can see it, how it's displayed. Just add a little decorative touch to your festive plate. And one great reason for making these budget-friendly crafts from toilet paper rolls, God, it's a bit of a mouthful, is because if you want to transition your Christmas decorations into a different colour scheme, but without spending the money on the new baubles, as long as you've got the colour of paint, then you can do this and it's almost free. This angel is such a beautiful Christmas tree decoration. You can of course do it in any colours, but I have chosen white and gold to go with the colour scheme of my tree. To start with, attach 2 of the large white rings together at the edge, but so that they're pointed down. This is going to be the bottom of the angel body. It's so hard to describe on the toilet paper roll where exactly I'm referring to when I say a corner or an edge or a side or a top, but hopefully the video will make it clear where to put the glue so that it is the most secure. Now we're just building up the layers of the angel body. Hot glue really is the best for attaching these body pieces together. Next we're going to add the wings, and for this I have got the 2 large gold rings. They will be more stable if you attach them to each other before you attach them to the body of the angel. The majority of these projects that will involve anything other than the simple thin or thick ring of cardboard is the head of the angel. And that's simply because we're going to turn it into a circle rather than the petal shape. Simply cut it down to size and glue it together so it is secure, and then attach that onto the body of the angel. The middle of the angel head won't attach onto the body just because of how the wings are raised up, so you're actually attaching the glue to more where the shoulders would be rather than the exact middle of the head. And finally you're adding the decorative elements, which, as we've seen already with the various ornaments, you can make these as detailed or as simple as you like. I simply added one of the thin gold rings to the inside of each of the wings. For the next layer down I added just one thin ring to the body part, and for the final layer I stacked 2 of the thin rings together, just to give it a little bit more heaviness and detail towards the bottom of the angel. Another thing you could do if you wanted to make this more detailed is you could add a halo to the top of the angel by simply attaching another ring horizontal to the head. And of course that all important do we glitter or do we not glitter element. I made some angels without glitter, and some angels I added glitter just to the wings, just for an extra sparkly festive touch. And I think both are beautiful in different ways. And by folding the paper before you start, that makes cleanup even more simple when you're trying to get all the excess back into the pot. Does that make you look at toilet rolls any differently? It's certainly a great one to add to your supplies. So which did you like best? Was it the ornaments, the present topper, or the angel? For me, I loved the present topper. I think it's just going to make that extra special pop on presents this year. And if you're interested in other ways to create some unique gift wrapping, then I'll leave a link to that video below, so you should check that one out next. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye! And if you find that I am not popping up in your YouTube feed, then I can notify you when I post a new video. The best way to do that is to sign up to my mailing list, and you'll hear about my new videos and new blogs as they come out. I'll leave that in the description below for you.